The Rose and the Ride Home. The bell above the door of the blooming marvelous flower shop tinkled a cheerful, almost mocking welcome to Arthur Penhaligon. He stepped inside, bringing a gust of the brisk spring air with him, a stark contrast to the cloying, sweet perfume of 1,000 blossoms vying for attention. It was a riot of colour, a testament to nature's artistry, yet Arthur felt a familiar pang of detachment. For him, this was a transaction, a duty to be fulfilled. His mother, a woman whose love had been a constant, unwavering beacon in his life, lived a formidable 200 miles away, a distance that, he guiltily admitted to himself, had grown not just in miles, but in the frequency of his visits. Life, with its relentless demands of work and routine, had a way of stretching time and space, making even the most important connections feel distant. So, he reasoned, a wire order of her favorite carnations was the next best thing. A tangible, fragrant reminder that he was thinking of her on Mother's Day. As he was about to step out of his car, a sound, small and fragile, snagged his attention. It was the sound of quiet despair. On the curb, with her small back hunched against the world, sat a little girl. Her shoulders shook with silent sobs, her face buried in her hands. Arthur, a man who usually navigated life with a determined focus, found himself hesitating. He wasn't one for interfering, for stepping into the messy, unpredictable lives of others, yet something in her forlorn slump of her posture resonated with a part of him he had long kept dormant. With a sigh that seemed to carry the weight of his own unacknowledged sorrows, he approached her. "Is everything all right, little one?" he asked, his voice softer than he had intended. The girl looked up, her face streaked with tears, her large brown eyes shimmering with a grief that seemed too vast for her small frame. "I wanted to buy a red rose for my mother," she whispered, her voice trembling, "but I only have 75 cents and a rose costs $2. She opened her small clenched fist to reveal 3/4, their silver gleam a stark reminder of her predicament. A smile, genuine and warm, touched Arthur's lips, crinkling the corners of his eyes. He said, "Come on in with me. I'll buy you a rose." Inside the shop, the little girl's eyes widened at the kaleidoscope of flowers. She walked almost on tiptoe to a bucket filled with long-stemmed, velvety red roses, their petals still glistening with droplets of water. She chose one with a reverence that touched Arthur's heart, her small fingers gently tracing the delicate edges of its petals. He bought her the rose, its deep crimson a stark contrast to her pale, tear-stained face. He then placed his own order for the carnations, the transaction feeling more hollow than ever. As they were leaving, a thought, impulsive and uncharacteristic, struck him. "Would you like a ride home?" he offered. Her face lit up with a mixture of relief and gratitude. "Yes, please. You can take me to my mother." The little girl, whose name he learned was Lily, directed him not to a street or a house, but to a place of quiet contemplation, a cemetery. The wrought iron gates, usually a symbol of finality, seemed to welcome them into a world of peaceful slumber. Lily, with a certainty that belied her years, guided him through the labyrinth of headstones, her small hand clutching the precious rose. They stopped before a freshly dug grave, the earth still dark and unsettled. A simple, temporary marker bore the name of Lily's mother. With a tenderness that brought a lump to Arthur's throat, she placed the rose on the mound of earth, a single, vibrant splash of color against the somber backdrop. She didn't cry. She simply stood there, her small hand resting on the cold ground, a silent communion with the mother she had lost. The sight, in its simple, profound grief, was a revelation to Arthur. He saw in that small, solitary figure a love so pure, so unwavering, that it transcended the boundaries of life and death. And in that moment, the 200 miles that separated him from his own mother felt like an insurmountable chasm, a distance he had allowed to grow, not just in geography, but in his heart. He drove Lily back to the small, unassuming house where she now lived with her grandmother, the silence in the car filled with a new, shared understanding. He then returned to the blooming marvelous, the cheerful tinkle of the bell now sounding like a call to action. He cancelled the wire order, the words feeling foreign and inadequate on his tongue. Instead, he bought the largest, most vibrant bouquet of carnations the shop had to offer, their spicy, familiar scent, a comforting promise of home. And then he drove. He drove the 200 miles, the hum of the engine a steady rhythm against the backdrop of his racing thoughts. He drove not out of a sense of duty, but out of a newfound urgency, a deep, resonant need to bridge the distance he had so carelessly allowed to grow. He drove toward the woman whose love had been the constant, unwavering beacon in his life, a love he now understood was a gift to be cherished, not just remembered. He drove to his mother's house, the bouquet of carnations, a vibrant, fragrant testament to a love that was, and always would be, worth the journey.